Welcome to the deep dive. We're kicking off today with something, well, something everyone can connect with, hobbies. Those activities we eagerly pursue in our downtime.
Absolutely. And they're more than just filling spare moments, aren't they? These pursuits really define aspects of our lives, sometimes without us even realizing it.
And it strikes me that being able to talk about what we do in our free time and why it matters to us, well, it pops up everywhere.
Hmm.
Casual chats, maybe job interviews, trying to get a sense of who you are.
Yeah, digging into the real you.
Exactly. Or even just, meeting someone new. Hobbies are this surprisingly common thread.
They really are. Kind of like social currency almost. They give a glimpse into our personalities, our values, in a way that, say, work or daily routines often don't.
So for this deep dive, we want to go beyond just the basic what of hobbies. We're aiming to understand maybe their deeper meaning, look at some good ways to talk about them, and maybe uncover what they reveal about us.
Sounds good.
And our guide for this is going to be insights from talking about your hobbies in English. But we're looking for more than just a language lesson here, right?
Precisely. Let's get past the surface definition. I mean, what really makes something a hobby versus just killing time?
Okay, let's unpack that. So at its core, a hobby is an activity you do regularly. Yeah, for fun or relaxation. And crucially, it's separate from paid work or, obligations. It's driven by your own interest.
That intrinsic reward part is key, I think. It's not about getting paid or someone telling you good job.
Right.
It's the personal satisfaction you get from doing the thing itself. That's
Yeah.
what makes it a hobby. The difference between a professional chef and someone who just loves baking cakes on a Sunday afternoon.
Exactly. And the range is huge. The source mentions things like painting, gardening, reading, running.
Video games, baking.
Right, all sorts. It really shows the sheer diversity of what people enjoy doing.
And what's fascinating is how personal that enjoyment is. What one person finds relaxing, like, say, gardening, another might find totally tedious. That subjective bit is really the heart of it, isn't it? Why a hobby feels valuable to you.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit. When you're actually in a conversation and hobbies come up,
Mm-hmm.
how do you share what you do in a way that's, clear and engaging? Our source suggests a basic structure.
Right. And having a sort of framework can definitely make it easier to get your point across. What's the approach?
It's pretty simple, really. Built on three things. Name the hobby, say how often you do it, and then explain why you enjoy it. The personal satisfaction part.
Okay. And the source gives an example of this in action.
It does, yeah, photography. So someone might say something like, oh, one of my main hobbies is photography. I try to get out with my camera maybe a couple of times a week, especially around sunrise or sunset, that golden hour light. It's just amazing. For me, it's really calming and creative. And I love just discovering new ways to see things.
Yeah, you can hear how that structure lets the personality come through. It's not just I take photos, it conveys the actual feeling behind it.
Totally. And the source even boils it down to a kind of template. One of my hobbies is I do it. I enjoy it because it's a good starting point.
It's practical. It encourages you, the listener, to sort of plug your own experience right in there.
Exactly. Maybe take a second now. Think about one of your hobbies. Try saying that sentence out loud in English, just to yourself. Get a feel for it.
Yeah, that active practice really helps things stick. Okay, so beyond that basic structure, what about more natural-sounding phrases, stuff people actually use in conversation?
Ah, yeah, this is where it gets interesting for sounding more fluent. The source points out some really common ones. Instead of just, I like painting, you might say, I'm really into painting.
Right, really into it. Definitely signals more passion, doesn't it? What else?
There's also, I've always loved, which is great for things you've done for ages. I've always loved playing the guitar, maybe.
Oh, gives that sense of history.
Or I spend a lot of time reading novels or working in my garden. Shows commitment.
These definitely add more color than just saying, I do X. They paint a better picture.
For sure. And it's not just about the activity, but also the effect it has. So phrases like, it helps me relax, or it helps me clear my mind.
Or it's a great way to unwind.
Yeah, exactly. People
Yeah.
can relate to needing to unwind.
Mm-hmm.
And for active stuff, maybe it keeps me fit and healthy. Or if it's more mental, I love learning new things through my hobby.
These are all super useful, yeah. Little tools to express that connection more naturally. And the source does stress actually using them, right?
Absolutely. Get familiar with them. Try dropping them into conversation. It makes a difference. Okay, so thinking bigger picture now. Hobbies aren't all the same, obviously. Our source tries to categorize them a bit.
Interesting. How does it break things down?
Well, first up, creative hobbies. Think drawing, painting, writing, photography, playing an instrument,
Mm-hmm.
where you're
Yeah.
making something.
Output focused.
Then there are relaxing hobbies, like reading, yoga, meditation, journaling, more about unwinding and looking inward.
Makes sense.
And for active folks, you've got running, swimming, hiking, dancing, stuff that gets you moving.
Okay. That covers quite a bit. Any other categories?
Yeah, a few more. Tech hobbies, so video games, coding, maybe building websites.
Uh-huh. Very relevant today.
Then outdoor stuff, gardening, cycling, bird watching. And finally, social hobbies, like maybe acting, going to events, volunteering, things you primarily do with others.
Seeing it laid out like that really highlights the huge range of human interests, doesn't it? And the different needs hobbies meet: creative, physical, social, relaxing.
Yeah. And it makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which categories do your hobbies fall into? What draws you to those particular types of activities?
Good question for self-reflection.
Now, knowing the words is one thing, but seeing it in a real, back and forth is helpful. The source gives a little example conversation.
Oh, yeah. How did that go?
Super simple. Starts with, so what do you like doing in your free time?
Okay, standard opener.
And the answer is I love cooking. I try out new recipes almost every weekend. Then a follow-up. Nice. What was the last thing you cooked?
Good follow-up. Keeps it going.
Leading to a really flavorful Thai green curry. It turned out great. And then maybe a connecting comment like, sounds delicious. I wish I was a better cook.
Yeah?
Creates a bit of rapport.
Yeah, that little exchange shows how easily it can flow and how it becomes a point of connection. It's not an interrogation, it's a chat.
Exactly. And to help kickstart those chats, the source gives some opening questions too, like, what do you like to do when you're not working?
Or do you have any hobbies or special interests?
Yeah, or just simply, what do you usually do for fun?
They're all pretty gentle ways in, aren't they? They invite sharing without being too pushy. It really underlines that talking about hobbies is often about building that connection.
Now, here's where it gets maybe a little deeper. The source touches on this idea that our hobbies can actually sort of reflect our personality traits.
Oh, interesting. What kind of links does it suggest?
Well, it proposes that, say, someone really into painting might also be quite creative and thoughtful.
Okay, makes sense.
Or people who love hiking or cycling, maybe they're more adventurous, energetic.
Yeah, I can see that.
And if your thing is chess or complex puzzles, perhaps that suggests a logical, strategic kind of mind.
It's a cool idea, isn't it? That our leisure choices aren't random, but they sort of mirror who we are and how we like to engage with the world.
Exactly. And it leads to that question for you, the listener. What does your hobby say about you? It's kind of an invitation to think about those deeper connections.
Yeah, a really valuable bit of self-awareness, and maybe helps understand why certain things feel so rewarding. Okay, what about people looking to try something new? Any suggestions from the source?
Yes, and it cleverly ties them into practicing English, which is neat.
Oh, how so?
Well, like suggesting journaling, but specifically journaling in English. Combines reflection and language practice.
Ah, smart. Killing two birds with one stone. What else?
Learning an instrument, guitar or piano are mentioned. Playing chess, maybe picking up some of the English terms for moves. Getting into photography, even trying new recipes. There are tons of recipes online or in books, all in English.
These are all pretty accessible things, aren't they? And adding that English language layer makes them doubly useful for a lot of people listening.
For sure. Other ideas included going for long walks while listening to English podcasts, great combo of physical activity and immersion,
I like that one.
or just drawing or painting, doesn't matter your skill level, or trying dance or yoga, maybe following English video classes.
And there was a specific tip about how to approach a new hobby in English, wasn't there?
Yes, good point. The tip was to intentionally start the hobby in English. So if you're curious about cooking, find English cooking channels on YouTube. If you like reading, try English short stories first.
Right, immerse yourself in the language through the activity you enjoy.
Exactly. Makes the language learning feel less like studying and more like just doing something fun.
That's a fantastic approach. Makes it feel more natural, less like a chore.
Okay, so to kind of wrap all this up and make it really practical, our source has a challenge time section.
Ah, okay. What's the challenge?
It's basically to speak for about 1 to 2 minutes about your own hobbies. And there are some guiding questions to help structure it.
Like what?
Like, what hobbies do you enjoy? How often do you do them? Why do you like them? When did you start? And maybe are there any new hobbies you're thinking of trying?
Okay, so it prompts a fairly well-rounded description.
Exactly. And the suggestion is to either record yourself speaking, listen back to how you sound, or maybe write your answers down in English.
Right. Good practice either way.
And it even encourages sharing it, maybe with a teacher, a friend, or finding an online group or comment section. Get some feedback, connect with others.
Yeah, that sharing aspect can be really motivating, can it? Finding common ground.
So as we kind of bring this deep dive to a close, we've covered quite a bit, haven't we? Defining hobbies, talking about them naturally,
Looked at different types, saw how conversations flow.
and even touched on that link between hobbies and personality.
And hopefully we've shown that talking about your hobbies isn't just about, vocabulary or grammar. It's really about connecting with people.
Yeah, showing who you are beyond just work or study.
It's a great way to build those bridges, show your personality, and actually make the learning journey, whatever language you're in, more enjoyable.
And it's a good reminder, too, isn't it, about how important those activities are that just bring us joy and help us recharge.
Definitely. We all need that balance.
So as we sign off, I want to leave you with one final thought, kind of echoing the source. What is your absolute favorite hobby? And really think about why. What is it about that specific activity that brings you the most satisfaction, the most joy?
A good one to ponder.
Give that some thought. And as always, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep doing those things you love.